8.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Talking politics with Russell Norman.
Co-leader of the Greens, Russell Norman. Good morning, Russell.
Morning, Wammo.
A victory for the people yesterday with the back down from the government on mining in conservation areas.
Yep, the government's back down on mining in Schedule 4, which is kind of like a subset of the conservation estate. And it was an incredible people's victory. The march in Auckland, all the submissions, the 50,000 on the Green Party's petition. Yeah, it's been a fantastic effort by the people and also by all the NGOs, all the non-government organisations in the environment movement.
The government now says that it's given them a mandate to go exploring elsewhere.
Yeah, well, it has given no such mandate. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I think people were pretty leery of mining in any part of the conservation estate after what they've done. So I don't think it's given them any such mandate.
So where do you think Brownlee's going digging now?
Well, he's going to do these magnetic aerial surveys of large parts of Northland and also Southwestland and Southland. So we'll see what comes out of that. I mean, the issue is that there's lots of very important conservation areas that aren't in Schedule 4, including parts of the World Heritage Area of Southwestland. So we want to make sure that he doesn't go start digging around amongst other really important conservation areas.
Well, it sounds like things need to be sort of enshrined more in law around an area that's called a World Heritage Site. Sounds very important, Russell.
Yeah, I think that's true. I mean, we did, with Schedule 4, we got an amendment put in originally which said that there had to be a public consultation if you wanted to take anything out of Schedule 4.
Yeah.
And that was Jeanette Fitzsimons, who I think showed tremendous vision in making sure that little piece of law got put in there. So the National had to go through the public consultation process in trying to get stuff out of it. But I think you're right, there are other areas that really need to be protected, and we need to look at that next.
So they need to be put into that particular schedule? Yeah,
Schedule 4.
Yeah.
So who would have thought we'd heard so much about Schedule 4, but there you go.
Well, okay, let's look at it this way. What was the point in having various schedules? Why isn't it black and white?
Well, a schedule's like a kind of an appendix on a piece of legislation, and you can add things to it without going through Parliament. So you can add new pieces into Schedule 4 through a consultation process, which meant that it's easier to add, new bits of the conservation estate to give them that extra protection. But of course, it also means there's a way to get things out of them. And I think what we need to do is put a ratchet in there so it's a one-way process.
Because I wonder, walking into some of these areas, whether it be Schedule 1, 2, 3 or 4, would you be able to tell? If you just walked in and you go, oh yeah, this is definitely Schedule 4.
Well, I guess the idea is that it's, some of the most precious areas. So you might be able to tell in the sense that you go, wow, this is a pretty wild piece of biodiversity.
But to me, walking into any kind of New Zealand bush setting, man, that's Schedule 86. It's just it's amazing. Everywhere is amazing. It's all on the same level to me.
And I agree with you, but what we got, what the compromise that came out of the last big battle around mining was to designate certain areas as totally out of bounds, which was this Schedule 4 compromise. And I think what we need to look at now is, well, how do we take this further to make sure we don't go through this ridiculous thing again when some other madcap government tries to mine in some of these areas, because I guess the mining industry will never give up.
It does seem like history repeating, eh? Round and round.
Totally. Yeah. I think if we put a ratchet on it so it can go into Schedule 4, but you can't get it out without changing the law, then I think that would help.
Very good point. Well, I suppose congratulations to the people, Russell Norman.
Yeah,
so far.
It's fantastic. It was the real people power. We managed to stop them. So far so good.
Thanks very much for your time.
Pleasure.
Co-leader of the Greens, Russell Norman. Track now from Lugaboa.